We're on Route 66, New Mexico. We just left the town of Blue Water. We're headed out to Prewitt. We're going westbound here on our Route 66. So Prewitt's almost a ghost town. Elevation 6,800 feet about, population 750. Nothing much here till the railroad came through in 1881, named it Baca Station. Anyway, about the same time the Prewitt brothers, they moved up here, opened a trading post along the old wagon trail. This is also where you start to see a lot of the desert shrub and scrub kind of mature to larger trees as we get to the Continental Divide. Up ahead about a mile, we have an old bridge here. They were replaced in 1963 and replaced again in 2010 with this current steel stringer. But you kind of look right up here at the concrete barriers on the side right there. Anyway, that's a portion of our old bridge. From the bridge, we just continue about 3 miles westward on Route 66, and that's Interstate 40 right there, and there's a train tracks. So nobody really drives this road very much. Once you start getting to town, you see some newer buildings up here, and on the left, newer home. And then further up on the left is our post office and a trading post. Now right up here you want to turn in where the post office is. We'll check out our old relics here. This guy here is the first trading post out here in Prewitt, called the Zuni Mountain Trading Post. Opened in 1947 by T.B. Greer. He sold it to the Ortegas in the 1950s. They sold Navajo rugs, general merchandise, other goods, and services, and they have a motel, cafe, and a filling station. Anyway, all right, here we have our little pump islands for the filling station. Little adobe structure. Got those little timber vigas coming out of the roof line right there. Anyway, after I-40 bypassed the town, the Ortegas were forced to sell Native American handicrafts, but eventually the owners died and the property was leased out, and that's just the old forgotten relic on Route 66 here. Anyway, I'll take a look inside through the window. I'll show you what she looks like here inside. There we go. It's our beautiful trading post. Anyway, Zuni Mountain Trading Post out here in Prewitt. About a half mile west, we're going to find some more stuff, but way out here behind that fence, that's the old Prewitt Refinery site. 70-acre tract of land surrounded by barbed wire, and it used to be a big oil refinery built in the 1940s and closed in 1957. The owners demolished all the structures and buildings, and the whole place is contaminated in the soil, so it's all has to be cleaned up. Still a mess there. Anyway, right here we have some interesting things going on with our alignment of Route 66 here. Headed up to the Prewitt Trading Post. You see this little dirt road right here. This is our 1926 to 1935 alignment. Little dirt road. It's all blocked off with this little fence. You can't drive it. But it heads all the way to the back side of the trading post. And you turn right and you get back on our current 1935 to 1960 alignment. So let's head up, take a peek at our trading post. So this here is a Prewitt trading post. It used to be a little more towards the back on the original 1926 road, but moved forward in 1935 when this road here straightened out. Opened in 1916, 25 by 25 foot store next to the owner's 32 by 32 foot home. Had a windmill and a water tank. Also the local post office was here in 1928, and they sold Navajo rugs, jewelry, various curios inside there, tourist supplies and general merchandise. Anyway, the post had coined its own money, and that's how they paid the Indians for their wares, and the Indians would have to use their coins to shop at this trading post here, known as a captive customer. 1946, the owner sold this building to Justin and Odessa LaFont. They named it Justin's Trading Post. It's a Spanish adobe stucco building with timbers at the parapet, towing service and garage, Conoco gas, merchandise store, cafe, main house on the right. Anyway, a few years later, the LaFonts began selling fashionable Mexican fiesta-style dresses, hired local Navajo women to cut the material and sew the garments, and they branded the new store as Justin's Western Shop. And knowing Interstate 40 was coming through, at the end of the trading post era, they sold the building and moved out of here in 1958. Anyway, we're going to continue westbound. Here's an old relic. I'm not really sure what that guy is. But up ahead, we have a bar. This building here on the right, that's the old Tomahawk Bar. Open truck rest area. Right here. It's our 1926 road. It turned up here on the left, and it ran just alongside the railroad tracks all the way to the next town of Thoreau. And our road is just right here is that 1926 road. So about this bar here, built in 1947, it's both a bar and the town's third trading post. Used to say Tomahawk on top, the bar in front, packaged liquor on the side. This is another of our prefabricated Quonset huts, corrugated galvanized steel, little half-cylinder, semicircular cross-section. The facade blocks that little rooftop there. The name comes from Quonset, and that's a Rhode Island place where these structures were built back in 1941. Today it's CJ's Upholstery there. It used to be a bar. Anyway, right here, that was Route 66. It goes up and hugs the railroad tracks. Well, there you go. That's our great little town of Prewitt out here in New Mexico. And so we're headed to a place called Thoreau on Route 66. Thanks for watching. Bye.